Welcome to another edition of Doing Good Deeds for You. I'm Mary Ellen Vanderventer, your Lake County recorder, and today's show is very special. Today, we are focusing on our partnership with United Way of Lake County and their latest initiative, a free, confidential, 24-hour referral helpline. This helpline provides a central access point to health and human services in Lake County. And all you do is dial 211 or text your zip code to 898-211. Now don't worry about the phone numbers and text numbers just yet. We will highlight all of United Way's vital contact information throughout the show. 211, what could be easier than that? Did you know that in Lake County alone, there are more than 1,000 health and human service providers? The challenge for all of us is we never know which agency to call for help, whether it's connecting to food and shelter, finding childcare or elder care, getting help with addiction or depression, or just knowing where to turn in a family crisis. 211 is now Lake County's one-stop shop for help. I'm delighted to have a great group joining me today. You all know our Chief Deputy Recorder, Cynthia Horan. She will be our moderator today. Also at our table is Christy Long, President and CEO of United Way of Lake County. And joining Christy is Deanna Olmam, lead manager of the entire 211 project. Before we begin our roundtable, I'd like to take a minute and introduce you to Christy Long. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. As promised, here's Christy Long, President and CEO of United Way. And first, let me just thank you for letting us come to the beautiful location today and taping our show. I'm so excited about this show, but thanks for having us.
Oh my gosh, we are so thrilled to share 211 with you and all your listeners, so thank you.
I can't wait. Christy, how long have you been with United Way?
Oh my gosh.
A long time.
I've been with United Way for 18 years.
Have you really?
Yes, yes.
That's a lot of programs and a lot of accomplishments under your leadership. It's just terrific.
Well, thank you. We like to think the work we do, especially in education, early education, which you helped us kick off
back in
like
the
12
day.
years ago, and now 211 really add to the quality of life for people in Lake County.
That's great. It's just great. I know we're anxious to get inside and begin our roundtable, but I think after people see the show today, they are really going to want to share their time and talents and treasures with United Way. So I wrote down my question, otherwise you and I get talking too much.
Okay.
Could you highlight a few volunteer opportunities for our audience today who might be really, really interested in getting going?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, we need all kinds of volunteers. And right now, we even have volunteers in our office that help us at the front desk, help us with data analysis, help us with just lots of things where we just don't have the staff. But other volunteer opportunities in the community is we do have a tutoring program for children in 1st through 3rd grade. So if people are interested in doing that, we often have guest readers in the classrooms, just bringing books to life for kids so they see that
wonderful.
Books are as exciting as TV or a video game. And then the other thing we have is we have a women's volunteer group, we have a young leaders group for young professionals, and we are kicking off a program this next year for high school students and hope to put on a dance marathon. So if anybody has a child that needs, extra credits or community service, we would love to hear from those families and have those high schoolers helping us out.
Oh my gosh, that's terrific.
Very.
That is terrific. Well, I know they're waiting for us next door, so we better get going, and we'll see you inside at our roundtable.
We are excited to be here, ready to learn about 211 with our friends from United Way. And so I'm just going to jump right in and ask.
Let's do it.
What is 211?
211 is basically an information and referral hotline that's available 24/7 for people in Lake County to reach out when they need help.
Okay, and what kind of help would they be getting or looking for?
It can be anything that's health and human service related. So that could be a person looking for food and they don't have food in their home possibly, or maybe are running low and not sure what to do next. Maybe they're behind on their rent and they're looking for assistance in making that next rent bill. Could be a friend or family member that's experiencing mental health or substance abuse issues and they're looking for inpatient assistance or maybe some counseling, daycare assistance for families with new babies. I know I've been in that boat myself. And even seniors looking for in-home care or maybe the next step for a loved one.
So is what you're saying is rather than calling this facility, this facility, this facility, whatever your need is, you just call 211 and they'll figure it out?
Absolutely. As long as it's not an emergency services need, like my house is on fire, I just got in a car accident, all those other health and human services needs, things that we all encounter at some point during our lifetime, 211 is centralizing the information and resources in one place. So within one call, you can have an assessment of your needs and guidance to what resources might be able to assist you.
That's fantastic. Who can use it?
Any citizen in Lake County. It's actually done by the phone call systems, and so in Lake County, if you dial 211 from your home phone or from your cell phone, it's going to recognize 211 and take you to the call center.
That's fantastic.
I'm just so curious. Yeah. How long did it take to figure all of this out? It's mind-boggling that you only need to call 211.
And we'll answer that, but the other thing is you can also text, because we know texting is really important. And as you can imagine, that's a growing number of people that want to text and get real help. And even when you text, you're texting to a live person. So that person is interacting with you, asking the same questions they would on a telephone call.
It's amazing.
And to connect with that, I'm sorry, Christine.
No, go ahead.
And to connect with that, you want to text your zip code to 898-211, and that will connect you to that live specialist. So we wish it was as simple as just texting to 211, but it's at 6 digits, still shorter, and you'll get connected.
Okay.
So to answer your question about how this came about, the first 211 center started in Atlanta, Georgia in about 1995. And other communities looked at this model and thought, this is so smart, because we all know when people need help, they don't know where to turn. And especially here in Lake County, we have a robust system of nonprofits, government programs, but people just need to be linked to the one that they really need at that moment. And so over the past 20 years, United Way's communities were looking at it, we were looking at it, but the cost was always kind of prohibitive. But about 3 years ago, we had a very small group of agencies, Catholic Charities, A Safe Place, Partnership for a Safer Lake County, NICASA, come to us and say, we have got to do something. Because the number of misdirected calls that all of these agencies get, including us, elected officials, just wastes so much time. Plus, it's such a challenge for the person needing help.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
It is. It is. I mean, there's a rumor out there that you can call between 8 and 10 places before you find the right call on your cell.
And I have to say, and we always say when we're out talking to the community or doing our shows, we are so proud of our office because so many people will call our office to look for general information, and our staff goes above and beyond. So it's nice to know that there is a central location that if we can't answer it, we know where to send people. Is there a time of day that it's available, or is it 24 hours a day?
It's 24 hours per day, which is the beauty of it. And we recently ran some reports on when are people calling, and we're finding that people are calling after hours, middle of the night, weekends, even holidays. We got calls on New Year's, we got calls on Christmas, on Thanksgiving. So needs never stop, and people are always able to call 211 any time of the day, any time of the year.
That is amazing.
You know, another big benefit too is, let's say someone does call an agency that's well known for their program. So maybe they call Catholic Charities. In talking to that person, the caseworker at Catholic Charities might find out they have 4 needs, and maybe Catholic Charities addresses 2 of them. But in the old model, that caseworker would then start dialing. Now that caseworker can call 211 and find additional help for their client.
So, okay, so did you have to train all these facilities for them to learn how to direct everybody to 211, right? How would you even do this?
Yeah.
So we have been working for at least a year and kind of preparing individuals and agencies and providers for the coming 211. So we had a number of amazing nonprofit and government partners that helped us really think through how do we integrate this into organizations so it becomes a natural part of the process to be working with an individual, but then also referring to 211? So we did trainings on what 211 was, what it could provide with both agency executives as well as frontline staff. We also created a number of amazing promotional materials.
These are terrific. And we will highlight these throughout the show. These are terrific.
That are for the staff to be able to utilize for themselves, but also to give to clients when they're working with them.
So it's kind of a twofold question, I guess. Who is answering the phone? And what happens if the person calling doesn't speak English?
Sure. So we partner with an amazing nonprofit organization in California called Interface Children and Family Services. And we found them through really strong recommendations from the United Worldwide network that said there are amazing contact centers out there that can answer the call and provide a range of other services. And hey, this organization also does really great disaster response, which with all our flooding in Lake County is definitely something that was of interest to us. This organization has over 30 qualified information and referral specialists that answer the phones and the texts and even emails sometimes. They are a largely bilingual staff. 93% of them speak both English and Spanish. And they also have an interpretation line that has over 150 languages. So when someone contacts 211, they have the option to choose English or Spanish. And if they speak a different language, regardless of what line they're accessing, the English or Spanish, they can go ahead and get access to an interpreter just by beginning to speak, and the specialist is trained on how to make that connection with the interpreter.
So how do you know it's working? Do you know it's working yet, or is it too new?
We're looking at a number of different things. We have an evaluation framework that looks at every aspect of our program, from service delivery, interaction with individuals, number of resources we have in our database, and how they're being assessed every month, how we're doing with community engagement, with fundraising and long-term sustainability. We have a lot of different data that's coming in from different sources, and one of the first things we're looking at is how many people are contacting 211? Are they getting connected to resources? Do we know that these are the right referrals based on the needs that are being presented? And so far that process is going really well. We've had over 1,400 calls since we launched. Feedback from our partners has been largely positive, and when it isn't, we're working with them to make corrections really quickly, and our center's been really good about making corrections really quickly based on that feedback.
That is great. It's just so exciting. I mean, you have to be so proud of this program. It's just amazing.
It's been a need that we've known has been there for a long time. And especially you guys out in the community, you know what robust agencies, government programs are there, but when you're in a place where you're having a crisis or you're just having a challenge that you've never had, you have no idea where to go. And you Google for help, and up will come thousands, and you don't know what's reputable, you don't know what's in Lake County, so it really helps just, clear the clutter for people. Mm-hmm. Plus, what's really neat about the people who answer the phone or the text is they really are helping problem solve. So if someone presents and talks about, I need food, they're going to delve in. Well, did you need food last month? Is this an ongoing need? Well, if this is the first time you've called, why are you calling now? What's happening in your life? Oh, you lost your job. Well, what are you doing about that? And so they really help them kind of leave with a plan of different options and figure out if there are other circumstances that are creating this emergency.
So I'm glad you kind of went down that route, because I've been sitting here wondering, how do you train someone to do this? Because it's more than just answering a phone and saying, okay, call this person at the food pantry. So how are you training these people?
Well, that was kind of the beauty with this call center. So 20 years ago, if we were going to start 211 here, we would have a call center here in Lake County. But that was really costly, and that was kind of the big roadblock. And technology, especially over the past 10 years, a lot of 211s have consolidated. There are some major call centers out there. And as Deanna said, we interviewed a lot of them and really felt like this one in California was the right fit for us. Brought down the cost. Plus, they're well-trained, they're nationally accredited in all the ways you want them, and they've been doing it. Right. So we've been very, very pleased with them.
That's great.
You talked about this is not a number for an emergency, but if somebody did call for an emergency. Is there a follow-up, or can they get from 211 to 411 or 911 somehow?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. So in the event that a crisis situation was severe, or if it was a medical emergency, the 211 specialists are trained to do a mini crisis assessment. Our goal is to get individuals to call 911 directly, because that really helps with location services.
Okay, right.
But when they can't, or when they're unwilling to, then another team member will step in and call the appropriate 911 and get them connected and let them know what's going on. And the other specialist will stay on the line and provide encouragement and support for that individual until 911 arrives, or emergency services.
Yeah, I can see how you may be afraid to call 911, but you have heard of 211, and it just feels more comfortable, or it feels like you could do it and not be so afraid, which is wonderful.
So locally, Deanna and her team have done a lot of coordinating with all the 911 centers.
Okay.
They're aware of 211. They know what's going on. One of the benefits for them is, as 211 becomes more well-known, maybe some of the calls that are non-emergency that currently go to 911 will go to 211. So that would be a huge benefit for 911 centers, so they can really focus on the calls that are true emergencies.
So this is every city, every little town and village in Lake County has access to this, whether they're incorporated or unincorporated. Everybody can call 211.
Correct. That's correct.
That's
It's exciting.
How
It's exciting.
are you getting the word out? And how can we help you get the word out?
Oh my gosh, we're getting the word out in so many ways. And this program, itself, we're thrilled to be here and to tell people about it, because we want people to know about it and use it. Lots of different ways. There's a lot of publicity going on in the community, billboards, posters. We're working through a lot of our nonprofit agencies. Government agencies have been phenomenal. Lake County government has been terrific. The townships, we're now getting out to the municipalities, talking with fire and police. When we first met with the police chief or the fire chief in Waukegan, one of the things he said to us is, we see people on the worst day of their life, and to be able to give them information on, this is where you start. So they love it. So we actually did these as first responder cards for police and fire. So when they're out there dealing with someone who's got an issue that they're really not equipped to deal with or shouldn't have to, they can direct the people to 211. Outside of that, we have a lot of corporate partners, utility partners, banks have been supporting. We heard one story, probably the second week. A woman went into a bank and talked to a teller about an issue she was having about making her mortgage payment. And that bank had just been trained, and she had 211 materials to share with the woman.
Gosh.
I know. So it's those little interactions. So we're trying to do the best we can to get the word out in many different ways.
Because the hardest thing is to get information like this to the people who need it most.
Yes.
And if they, we can all know about it and we can all put up signs and do that, but if we can't get it to the first responders or to the tellers or the teachers or the principals who are going to give it to the people who need it the most, then it's kind of hard and kind of just sits there. So that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. You want to add any more? Because
I would just say that the strength of...
Because she's the leader in the whole thing.
She's the star. The strength of this program has really been in the community partnerships that have been built, and then individuals that have rallied around 211. So we're really grateful to be on this show, and we're really grateful for all the amazing partners that we have that help us to think about, again, the integration, training of their staff. How do we best communicate this to our community? But we still need so many more. Of a county of 703,000 plus people, we certainly have lots of room to grow and continue. So we really encourage everyone to share it with their friends and family. We all need help at some point in our lives, whether it's something small or something really big, and 211 can help guide them at that first
And I think about those high school students who speak English and Spanish because their parents only speak Spanish. And what a great opportunity for help for them to relay the message. All we have to do is dial 211.
Absolutely.
We can find it with 211. It's just amazing.
Another piece we're promoting too is on the 211 website. And what is the?
211lakecounty.org.
211lakecounty.org. There is a whole toolkit of materials. So the fact sheets, anything people want to print out, but they can also order them from us and then just come pick them up.
And all of our materials are English and Spanish,
I saw that.
bilingual,
It's
so that we
fabulous.
can reach the languages that are most spoken in
If somebody
the county.
wanted a handful of these, do they just call here? Call
Yep,
United
they could call
Way?
our main line or order them on the website, and
the
they'd be ready
website.
for them when they came in.
I know we would love to leave with some handfuls today.
You can do that.
Of course.
Materials are absolutely free for anyone. Again, our goal is to get the word out to as many people as possible, so we're
That's
happy to
great.
provide them.
That's terrific.
You know, one thing I'd like to add, though, is, it kind of started with United Way leading the way, but this has become such a community effort. And we would not be here without so many of our partners.
Sure.
Lake County government, townships, healthcare, so many partners.
Do you meet with them
corporations.
regularly, or do you have a newsletter just between the folks that use 211?
We had a steering committee for the first 18 months that was kind of getting us off the ground, and we're now transitioning it to
The 211 Advisory Council.
Okay.
Again,
Yeah.
the leader.
But 30 people on it from all aspects that we've talked about, from fundraising to marketing to service providing, all of that coming together to make sure that we're looking at the right data, it's on the right track, it's reaching the right people, just to keep guiding it.
Exactly, exactly. Our time is going so fast. I can't believe we're almost done. So is there one other question you wanted to be sure and ask? And then is there anything you lovely ladies want to be sure and tell us other than
I think
211?
the final question, and you've touched on it a little bit, but what role did United Way play? And I know you've kind of touched on it, but at what point did you guys decide, like, this is what we're doing, and off we go?
And plus, it probably took away from some other programs and tools that you've used.
It did. I mean, I give a lot of credit to our board of directors because we've been about early education, really, early education, getting kids ready for kindergarten. You led our first effort in that.
Terrific.
But over the years, we just kept seeing the lack of coordination of getting information to people in need over and over and over. And I will say, when that small group of agencies showed up one morning and said, we've got to do something, that it made us relook at 211, and we had seen a lot of changes, like we said, in the technology, which led us to believe maybe we can do this. I will say, Deanna has been our project manager on this, and she has a passion for this beyond none. And she really rallied us as staff, our volunteers, and then started getting the right people to the table. And then it just took a couple more people who really saw the beauty of this, working with her, that brought more people to the table and more. And, we may have started it, but certainly a lot of other really critical partners coming in and working on this with us has made it a real community effort.
Well, it's really something, and it'll be wonderful to watch this grow and grow, and just to see how many lives you could save lives with this. And
there's not one particular population that will benefit. Like you said, every single person here in Lake County can and will benefit by using this, and that's an amazing feat.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations to United Way and all your hard work. It's really, really something. And thank you for joining us today. This was just terrific. Thank you so much. We will be right back with my closing remarks. Thanks. We hope you enjoyed the latest version of Doing Good Deeds for You. Special thanks today to our Chief Deputy Recorder, Cynthia Horan, and our special guests, United Way and CEO President Christy Long, and Deanna Olmam, Lead Manager of the 211 Helpline. We learned today that 211 is a powerful information and referral service that helps people in need connect to a wide range of community resources. It can literally save lives. We also want to thank Lake County government and all the many local partners and individuals who've offered support in so many ways. The Recorder's Office is delighted to help spread the word. And while my office continues to utilize available technology, we are also reminded of the old-fashioned traditions of our office. We continue to personally answer each and every phone call. There's no menus to follow or buttons to push. We greet you with a smile as you enter our office and do our best to provide the best customer service possible. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We hope you learned a few new things about the benefits, tools, and terrific programs that we have right here in Lake County through United Way. Please reach out and simply call 211. Thanks again for watching, and as always, we continue doing good deeds for you.